Welcome back, everyone, here on GMID22. And I'm here with my co-host, Bruce Jordan. Wow, that was a great conversation with David Peckinpaugh. He's such a great guy to talk to. He was very well diverse in the topics that we discovered to talk about. What do you think, Bruce?
Man, listen, I love that interview, especially when he talks about valuing your team. I mean, a lot of us, we tend to take our team members for granted. They're there, they're showing up. They're taking time away from their family to help grow our organization and they keep it alive. So the fact that we can build something together and make sure they're able to build something together at home is
Right.
is very valuable and very important. So I love that subject that he touched on.
Yeah, and he had a lot of great topics to talk about. He talked about the most critical impact is the loss of people and talent through this pandemic, and that really, he nailed it because it's so true here in the hospitality industry. And although we talked about Dr. Toma earlier, getting those students here in the industry. At the same time, we've lost people. It's like, wow, it's devastating to know. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we get these people back here in this industry.
Absolutely. Like what have you seen like from over there where you're at? How many people have you seen just completely just get up and say, I'm done? It's over. I
Oh,
gotta find something.
yeah, a lot of people. Yep. And they had no choice, that's the unfortunate thing is a lot of these companies and organizations within the hospitality industry had to see a lot of people leave to other industries and may not be back. So as again, as we talked with Dr. Tuma, she's trying as best as she can, along with other hospitality schools out there, trying to get these students through to, come on board because we're lacking the labor, we're lacking the staff, and I hope those meaningful connections that David talked about will happen and get people in this industry, get them back.
Yeah, because the customers and the guests, they're definitely coming back.
Yeah,
I,
so we need the help, right? But like you said, that's one of the challenges right now, and we always have challenges in our industry, and we always conquer them. It's just a matter of one step at a time, and the recovery, and knowing that our leaders, like David Peckinpaugh, knows what's going on and is very well aware of it and tackling it from their perspective, and their role is huge to know about. So I'm glad he brought that up, and in order to put the elephant in the room, in other words.
for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
and I liked his and as I mentioned when I talked to him, his core value of first take good care of each other, right?
Because you're all you got, especially when there isn't no new no employees and no fresh employees coming inside of the building. You're all you got, so you definitely got to make sure you take care of each
Right.
other for sure.
Right. And he was talking about, not even just in the company or organization, but the clients. And he was mentioning about how they're a stakeholder too. I thought, oh yeah, that's right. That's a good point. I thought that was brilliant. Do you look at your clients as stakeholders as well?
Listen, I'm just happy to be chosen with all the with all the competition that's going on out here, and you got so many different event spaces that they can choose. The fact that they actually chose me and my location just lets me know that I'm on the right path, and I need to feed off this energy to get some more clients like this. Okay, because when you go from doing huge corporate events to 100 baby showers.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Things
Exactly.
change a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, at least you're being honest about that, Bruce. That's for sure. Or should we continue to call you MJ, right?
There you go.
And he said that there were some changes going on in the industry now, and some things were going to stay the same. For changing, he talked about the virtual. Of course, now people have the option virtual or in person, but he really elaborated on design. And I thought that was brilliant because you have to know your content, your audience. You need to know, what your goals are in order to deliver. And I thought, yeah, you really do need those things to understand, how to put on a impeccable, if not, successful meeting or event. And I thought that was really great. And then for being the same, he was talking about the investment strategies. And so I can listen to that conversation over and over again, which I plan to. But I thought those analogies of determining what's different and what's staying the same was really, really good.
One thing I found out, especially in this industry, is that a lot of hotels are really having a hard time redefining their market because their market has changed so much from
Yeah, yeah.
everything that's going on. So what used to work a couple of years ago is not working now, and they're having a hard time getting off the bench and saying, okay, let's go out there and rework this thing and restructure and see what is going to work. Let's test to see what is going to work because what we used to do doesn't work anymore. Like, what have the struggles been like for you over there when it comes to redefining your marketing and making the necessary changes that needs to be made?
Yeah, I agree with you. That a good question because you have to find out what the new world is looking like, first of all, and what your customers are redefining, which forces me to do that too, because they're going to have new needs, they're going to have new wants now, especially with virtual involved. The choice of hybrid makes my delivery for them completely different when I'm going to do virtual compared to in person. How are you going to engage the participants online compared to live? Totally different ballgame.
Yeah.
It's much harder virtually because people have the option of tuning you out pretty easily compared to live when you can see somebody leaving the ballroom. And that happens too. But now they can just turn the sound off, and turn the sound off, and all they hear is this. So you don't want that to happen. So the approach is different. Their goals and objections or I can't even speak today. Goals and objections are going to be different. My goals and are going to be different too because of it. So it's a matter of really seeing what the need is and what their wants are. And then you've got to change that around. I would imagine you have to do the same, right?
Yeah, like what's especially right now, like the big thing is gender reveals. Like gender reveals didn't exist like 20, 30 years ago. Like no one did a gender reveal, and now we got all these blown up balloons and canisters popping out, and oh, like what is going on here?
Yeah,
And that
yeah,
is a big market right now
right,
for events right now. So
right,
it's just crazy
right.
how things have changed over the years.
Yeah, yeah. And when it comes to soft skills, I tell you what, I have to listen more. I mean, my listening skills weren't very good, to be honest with you. But now I have to really listen and write down so I don't forget. As I'm getting older, my memory is going right. But if you want to bring value to the table for your customers, which David mentioned was stakeholders, I love that. You have to really listen and to determine, are you the right fit for those customers at the same time? It's not about, as much as we want, we're hungry to get business back into our lives, you still have to be very careful and make sure that you're the right fit.
That is true because they will definitely let you know they have
Yeah.
a voice now and they will light you up online.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about that at the same time. And of course, we talked about meet safe, which is a growing theme for the whole day. and GMID's theme. But David mentioned that, how important it is to meet safe, and that will not go away. And it's only going to get more important to make sure that people build the confidence to return to meetings and events. And I believe, Meet Safe, like I mentioned, talking to him, it's not just about active shooters or hurricanes or a fire. There's so much to cover when we're talking about Meet Safe. I ask my audiences all the time, okay, so who's got their, who's the overachievers that have their CPRs? And and not very many people raise their hands. And so that has to change. I can see where they will have more of those type of trainings, maybe on property during a conference in the hallway, to get just people to sign up, kind of like, here's the vaccine and testing. But I believe that, Meet Safe is not going to go away. Just not going to go away.
Not at all. I mean, I for a lot of hotels, it's standard. They have any new employee within 3 months as part of the onboarding process that they
That's
have
good.
to go ahead and get their CPR certification, and the hotel has to pay for it, and the hotel holds the certification, so they can say that everyone has had CPR training, so on and so forth. So
I'm glad to hear that.
yeah.
I did not know that was going on. That's huge. I know when I get an opportunity to present to my National Speaker Association peeps, I always say, you're the one that's holding the microphone. You're up on stage. You can see the entire landscape of a room. If you're speaking at a breakfast meeting and somebody's choking on a piece of bacon, what are you going to do? You're holding the microphone. You've got complete control. You need to let your client know that you have complete control when you see something like this. And what are you going to do about it? So it's really put in the mind of speakers that, this is a whole new hat they have to wear as well, because bottom line, they're holding the microphones. So Meet Safe is a good theme for today's GMID22. So apparently, and David was great to have on the show because he strongly believes in that, not only within his company, but of course, the clients as well. So I'm hoping everyone got a chance to hear that conversation, because he really is a delight to talk to, and has been with Maritz for a long time.
Yeah, David is quite accomplished quite a lot. I mean, he has a certification. He's a certified meeting professional with the Event Industry Council. He sits on the board for the Pedal for Cause, which is this fundraiser for cancer and cancer research. So he's accomplished quite a lot in his career, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's been the chairman of PCMA, a board member for Pedal the Cause you were mentioning. He's definitely well-rounded and very well liked in the hospitality industry. And that's important.
We're lucky to have him.
You don't want to be not liked in the hospitality industry. That was not something that you want to deal with. But no, he was definitely a good one to have on for this year. Brought a lot of knowledge to the table here, and we thank him for joining us, and looking forward again to seeing him on some kind of hybrid event. We'll have to wait and see, no doubt. But yep. Next up, we need to move on. Boy, this is a wild day, isn't it, Bruce?
Oh yeah, man.
We're enjoying ourselves, especially our drinks with our Efficient Health Solutions mugs. Thank you, Randy Clark, again. Next up, we've got Michelle Mason. She's great. President and CEO of the American Society of Association Executives, which is better known as ASAE. Wow, this lady has a lot to share, and I can't wait to talk to her. So I want everyone to stay tuned. Don't go far, because we're going to be up here right next with Michelle Mason, and I guarantee everybody's going to really love what she has to say, and then we'll be right back to recap that as well. So everybody, hang on with the the GMID Day 22 with our official sponsor, Efficient Health Solutions.